The restaurant was nearly empty that night. Rain drummed softly against the large glass windows, and the warm glow of the lamps reflected off polished wooden tables. Michael Trent, a quiet man in his late 40s, sat alone at the corner booth, the same booth he'd sat in every Thursday for the past 3 years. The waitress, Gina, knew his order by heart: grilled salmon, steamed vegetables, and black coffee. He didn't talk much, just nodded politely and spent the rest of the evening staring at the rain. To anyone watching, he looked like another lonely soul dining alone, but Michael wasn't just any man. He was the founder of one of the largest real estate firms in the city. A billionaire by every measure, though few would recognize him without the suit, the entourage, or the press cameras. Tonight, he wasn't here to discuss contracts or profits. He was simply trying to escape the silence of his empty mansion, a place that had once been filled with laughter before his wife passed away 3 years ago. Just as he lifted his coffee cup, the door swung open. A gust of cold air swept through, and in came a woman and a little boy, drenched from the rain. The boy looked around 7. His sneakers squishing with every step. His mother, wearing a worn-out coat that had clearly seen better days, gently placed a hand on his shoulder and approached the counter. "I'm sorry," she said softly to the hostess. "Could we just sit for a bit to warm up? We don't have money for food, but he hasn't eaten all day." The hostess hesitated, glancing toward the manager's station. But before she could answer, Michael raised his hand. "Bring them a table," he said, his voice calm but firm. "And dinner. Anything they want." The woman turned, startled. "Oh, no, sir, we couldn't. Please." Michael interrupted with a faint smile. "It's raining too hard to walk away hungry." She looked at him, eyes shimmering with exhaustion and disbelief, and nodded. Why were seated at the booth across from his. The boy, once shy, began to smile when his plate arrived: a cheeseburger, fries, and a tall glass of chocolate milk. He devoured the meal as though it was the first real food he'd had in days. Michael couldn't help but watch. The way the boy's eyes lit up, the way his mother smiled at him between bites despite her own hunger, it stirred something in him he hadn't felt in years. When they finished, Michael asked gently, "Do you live nearby?" The woman hesitated before answering. "Not exactly. We've been staying at the shelter on 5th Street. I'm trying to get back on my feet. Lost my job 2 months ago when the diner closed. It's been tough." Michael nodded slowly. "You remind me of someone," he said after a moment. "My wife. She used to volunteer at that shelter. She always said, 'Kindness isn't charity, it's humanity.'" The woman's eyes softened. "She sounds like a good person." "She was," he said, his voice low. "I haven't done much to honor her lately." Something shifted inside him then, something heavy that had been sitting on his chest for too long. He called the waitress over, paid for their meal, and quietly slipped a business card to the woman. "Come by this address tomorrow morning," he said. "Ask for me." The woman looked down at the card: Trent Properties, CO's office, and her eyes widened. "Sir, I can't." "You can," he said simply. "I think I might have something for you." The next morning, when she showed up, still unsure if it was real, the receptionist greeted her warmly and led her to Michael's office. He stood by the window, watching the city skyline. "I have a position open," he said when she entered. "Housekeeping. Flexible hours. Good pay. It's yours if you want it." Tears welled up in her eyes. "I don't know how to thank you." "Just keep doing what you're doing," he said. "Loving your son the way you do, that's more powerful than anything money can buy." Weeks passed. She started working for him, diligent, quiet, and grateful. Her son sometimes waited in the lobby after school, chatting with the security guards and offering to help tidy the office. Slowly, life began to change for both of them. Then one sunny afternoon, something unexpected happened. Michael came home earlier than usual, and through the kitchen window, he saw movement in his backyard. His private home, once silent and cold, was now filled with laughter. The woman's son was splashing around in a small inflatable water tube by the garden, squealing with joy. The janitor, a quiet, humble man who had worked for Michael for years, was there too. helping the boy refill the tube with a hose, both laughing like old friends. And then, standing by the porch, was her, the mother he had met that rainy night. She was smiling, barefoot on the grass, helping them set up lemonade cups on a table. Michael paused for a long moment. The scene before him didn't feel like charity. It felt like home, something he hadn't felt since his wife's passing. He walked outside, hands in his pockets. Looks like I missed the fun, he said with a chuckle. The boy grinned. We saved you some lemonade, mister. As he took the cup, the janitor looked at him nervously. Sir, I hope it's all right, we were just. It's more than all right, Michael interrupted. It's perfect. That evening, he sat on the porch watching them play until the sun dipped low. The woman turned to him. You didn't just give me a job, she said quietly. You gave me a second chance. For him, and for me. Michael smiled, feeling something inside him heal. No, he said softly. You reminded me what life's about, people, not possessions. Hearts, not houses. As laughter echoed through the backyard, Michael realized that the emptiness that had haunted his nights was gone. In its place was something simple but profound, connection, compassion, and the quiet joy of being part of someone's hope again. Sometimes, he thought, the universe sends us reminders in the most ordinary moments, a rain-soaked stranger, a hungry child, a shared meal. And in helping others find their way, we often find ourselves again. That night, as he turned off the porch light, he whispered a silent thank you to his late wife. Her words had proven true. Kindness isn't charity, it's humanity.